What up, gentle viewers? This is JF. I'm here with another video where I will explain basic shit to probably very little people. So, with me here, I have my good old buddy Mike, who's joining me
Hello.
as the role of a skeleton warrior today to explain basic
Yes.
action economy through a for hands first experience. We've created a little scenario where Mike will play a skeleton warrior opposing two giant rats who want to gnaw on his bones. Uh,
Oh.
I will now explain a bit what this skeleton soldier has. He has this longsword, longbow, a steel shield, a chain shirt, and some arrows. That's his inventory. You can see his attributes to the side. And then we're going to start like really, really basic. So I'm going to explain actions to everyone. So every turn you get three actions. Most moves are defined by a little symbol that I will show you here. So either it has this is a symbol for one action here. This is a symbol for two actions here. This is a symbol for three actions here. And this is the symbol for a reaction, which is an action that you can take outside of your turn if you have a special ability that gives you that. And this is a free action. It's an action that you can take usually when there's a special trigger or basic ones like talking. Talking is a free action. So most of the actions in combat are going to be one or two actions. And so basically just keep in mind three actions plus a reaction every turn in combat. As we go forward, I'm going to delete this little power set. And now, Mike, I'm going to have to ask you to channel your inner skeleton warrior as
Oh
you.
my. I'm gonna have to ditch all my organs and skin and
Yes, it's going to be hard for you, I know.
I
Uh,
know.
we all have a skeleton warrior inside of us. Don't worry about
We do, we truly do.
it.
Uh
So basically, the encounter starts, and I'm going to ask you to roll for initiative. So
so
I've begun the encounter. As you can see, Mike has pressed the little dice on the side here to indicate that he controls, to indicate that he's rolling initiative. As the
yep.
GM, I will roll for the two giant rats. So, and then I begin the encounter.
Alrighty. So well the game is paused, so if my dear Yep, there we go. And it's not my turn, so
Yep, it is the giant rat's turn. The giant rat's turn begins. He gains three actions and a reaction. He will use one of his actions to use a basic movement action called a stride action. The giant rat wants to scurry behind the skeletal warrior. However, doing that triggers one of the conditions for the skeletal soldier's reaction attack of opportunity, which states that a creature within the monster's reach uses a manipulate action or a move action. The stride action is a move action, makes a range attack, or leaves a square during a move action it's using. It's triggered this reaction. Therefore, the monster now attempts a melee strike against the triggering creature.
yep. So it went from there and it crossed multiple tiles across my reach, which means
Exactly.
I get to use my reaction.
Yeah, take
I
this
only have
with
one
the
reaction. Yeah,
yeah. It would take the attack opportunity when it's there, and you only have one reaction.
yeah. So assuming I'm holding my glaive, I would simply roll
Your
a glaive
longsword.
strike.
Sorry, I forgot to add your
Oh,
longsword strike. There you go. You should have a longsword strike now.
I do.
Good.
So I'm going to roll a single longsword strike. Typically, you'll see if you hit in the chat or something. I don't think we've got that enabled here.
Yeah, you should press T on the rat.
I didn't target. Right.
There you go. So whenever you attack a creature, hover over their token and press the T. You should see golden arrows come out like that. T T
Yeah.
T T T T T T. So this is how you target a creature. Several actions are keyed to you targeting the right creature. Therefore, I'm going to ask Mike to re-roll on this because he hadn't pressed T.
Perfect. Yeah. And there's a couple of ways you can do this too. You can like double right click. Personally, I like that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Exactly. So we can see that he hit 1 die 20 plus 9, which is 24, versus
Yeah.
an AC of 15. He hits by 9. If he had gotten one more in the result, that would have been a critical hit, because critical hits are when you succeed by 10 or more or get a natural 20. Then since he's hit, I'm going to ask Mike to roll damage.
Yeah. So as a player, I don't see by how much I hit unless I hit a critical or something like that. But I do see that I hit, so I'm going to click the damage. Normally, I wouldn't wait. I would just go right for it.
Okay, and then I apply the damage to the rat. I select the token, I click the damage button, and then I would have other options. We're going to go through some scenarios how to handle the damage chat box here. And so the rat gets wounded, but not dead, manages to go behind the skeletal soldier, and then I target him, and then the rat is going to try to jaw the skeleton soldier. As you can see, it misses by 7 because the soldier's AC is 17, and then it's going to attack again. Now let's break down the math here. I clicked the +7 box when I attacked the first time, but now I'm clicking the +3 box. That's because every turn on your action, if you use an action with the attack trait more than once, on the second time that you reuse it, you suffer something called multiple attack penalty, which is automatically calculated here. And we can see that the rat takes -4 to its multiple attack penalty, but it's because its jaws have the agile trait, which means that it's only -4. Normally, it's -5. So it has even less odds of succeeding on this one. This would have succeeded at +7 because we saw that the AC is 17, and 13, which is the result of the roll, +7 would have been 20. But since it was a second attack at +3, he got 16 and missed by 1. So the rat was very inefficient there. Now we're going to go to the other one. And this rat just is going to move forward. I'm going to angle it. And is going to jaw at the skeleton soldier, hitting by 2. You can see that the soldier's AC is lower by 2 because it is flanked. 2 rats on each side makes it flanked. And so then the rat will roll damage. Now Mike is going to apply the damage to himself, but please heal yourself back up, or we're going to do it the proper way. So before applying the damage, he's going to press Shift on his keyboard and press the damage key, the damage button, and then a pop-up box will appear, and then he has to withdraw the amount of resistance he has to piercing damage. And Mike, what's your resistance to piercing damage?
I have, as a skeleton warrior, 5 resistance to skeletal damage. Yes, to piercing damage.
Yes. So then when you apply the damage, you press -5. Well, in this case, if I press -5, it would try to heal you, but then you can just basically
Yeah.
heal yourself back for the amount. So this rat did manage to bite the soldier, but did no damage. And then he's going to try to bite again and miss. And then it's the skeleton's turn.
All right. So now there's a couple of things. Typically, you want to think about your turn ahead of time, between turns, while other people are playing. One, because you'll have a plan. 2, because it'll go faster, and so on. And you want to take into account what other players might do. Now, of course, if you're new, you'll have no idea what other people are going to do, but you can assume that they're going to be doing something. Anyway, now I'm outnumbered, but I do have a rat that is near death to me. So I could try to run away, but that would waste a precious 1 out of 3 actions. Whereas if I take my first attack, which is going to be with a full dice, a full bonus of +9, I have a good chance of finishing off this rat. And that would also take me out of the flank. So I'm going to go with that first.
Little animation going on there. All
Yep.
Right. All right, and then you roll for damage because you hit.
Yep.
And now the rat is dead. It had 1 HP left. No, the rat is dead. Now,
1 dead rat.
This isn't going to happen much in game, but for this one, I'm going to rule that this rat is now frightened because it saw its buddy get killed brutally by the skeleton soldier, and might still have 2 other actions.
Yeah, so because it is frightened in this case, you might want to try something a little bit fancier because it's going to have lower saves, something like that. I could also go for a second strike because, again, that frightened condition is going to lower all of its rolls, including its AC by 1, which means it's easier. Normally, I might want to consider something else, That doesn't include me rolling a second attack, for example, because I would have a penalty. But because it's like that, it's a decent idea. Also, another thing that crosses my mind with a frightened target is you may want to set up something to have a further advantage. In this case, I could try to trip the rat. And although I would still take a penalty because tripping the rat has the attack trait, and I'll be attacked this turn, it's still easier because it's frightened. And if I trip it, then it gets a -2, and on the next turn, I can take my first attack with a -2, for example.
Mhm.
So I'm going to try to trip it, which is an athletics roll. So I go into my skills. I'm going to roll athletics. And in my athletics, I can hit the circumstance modifier and I can put -5 here because it is my second attack.
Actually, I'm going to have to correct you there, Mike. Although I like the attitude, you are currently. Let's. I'm going to show it
I
for the
suppose you
viewers.
could change the base modifier or something.
No, it's not that. It's because if we look at the trip action that Mike is currently using, it has a requirement that you have at least one hand free, and your target can be more than one size larger than you. If we look at Mike's two hands in his inventory, we can see that he has one hand on a longsword and one hand on a steel shield. Therefore, he can't use the trip action. Doesn't qualify.
Oh, right. I don't see the shield in my thingy, but
It's in
yeah, okay,
inventory.
it's over there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so if I had a free hand, I would, but I guess I don't. So in this case, there's no real reason for me to do anything else but attack, at least for my second strike,
hmm
because I do still have the advantage. I'm up in HP,
There you go.
and I'm in a good position.
So that's a hit. It's a bit of a lucky because he did need you needed a 10 on this, so it's not that lucky because the rat's AC is lower because it's frightened, and then the rat will take damage. But Mike's third attack would be at -10, meaning that he would roll at 1 die 20 -1, so he would need to roll 13 or higher to hit on that one, which is a bit chancy. So Mike's probably gonna go for something else.
Exactly. So in this case, you don't want to use something. Even tripping would be a bad call, even if I could, because I would still get -1 or -10 to my normal bonus.
Yeah, and if you critically
Um,
fail, which is failing by 10 or more, you'd fall on your ass if you try to trip something.
exactly. So one thing I could do, I don't know if this skeleton can do it, but probably would be to use intimidation. And
Uh,
I don't believe he's trained actually.
yeah, raising a shield would probably be your best bet.
Yeah, then I guess I'm gonna do that.
So I'll do it
Well,
for
I
you.
don't have.
Normally,
Yeah, thank
people
you.
will have the raise a shield action. I had prepared that, so you can see that his shield is raised, which increases his AC by 2. And now that we get to the vindictive rat is gonna try to jaw down on Mike again, failing, failing, and then the rat is gonna run away. Thus, if we remember, triggering the attack of opportunity power by the soldier. So we'll get
Yes.
the rat back in range.
Oh, again, I didn't target. I guess I'm gonna re-roll it. Normally, we would probably try to figure out
Yeah, we will
who you
figure
were
out the
trying
next.
to hit.
And there we have it. Now we succeed at because the rat is frightened 1 and Mike hit by more than 10. It's a critical hit, therefore he rolls double the damage, 2 die 8 plus 4 instead of 1 die 8 plus 2, dealing 16 damage, utterly destroying the rat and ending the encounter.
Yeah. Do note that there's a critical button, so you don't necessarily have to, click damage and then multiply. You can have the game do it for you.
Yeah. Now, just for fun, I had this hunter here at the ready to shoot one shot on the skeleton. So this person is going to spontaneously, I'm not going to put them in the initiative. I'm going to reroll that. I just want to showcase what happens when you use the shield block reaction.
Yeah.
So this Proud Boy Hunter has hit. He's going to do this amount of damage. And what the action that Mike is going to be using is shield block.
As you look for it in the compendium.
Yes, I would never. So raise a shield, raise a shield. Okay, well, it's not. It's not. I can't find it here,
I think it
but
is actually shield block. Raising the shield is an action.
yeah, exactly. Shield block is a reaction, but it's not in the action compendium. I'm gonna go get it
Yeah.
in the feat section. There we go. Shield block. You gain the shield block general feat, and then we can see that shield block. Its trigger is while you have your shield raised, you would take damage from a physical attack. Then you snap your shield in place to ward off a blow. Your shield prevents you from taking an amount of damage up to the shield's hardness. You and the shield each take any remaining damage, possibly breaking or destroying the shield. So this is
Yeah.
the action that the skeleton soldier is going to take. So Mike, we can see that this is the arquebus damage, so 16 damage, which is pretty brutal even with his skeleton resistance. So he's going to choose to block with that. So
Yeah.
Mike selects the block button, presses it, and then will apply the damage. And it should automatically apply to both the shield and himself.
Oh, is even that automated? That's
Yeah.
nice.
First time Mike plays a shield person.
uh, did you set it up,
Yeah,
or do you want me
you
to
should,
look for it?
no, you should be okay. If you click the block icon in the damage chat and then damage, it should apply automatically.
Alrighty. I hit block.
And
Nothing happened.
then press damage. Block should be blue now.
Oh, right.
Okay, so see, it didn't do it
Oh,
properly.
because I didn't have the shield raised. That expired.
Okay, let's go for here.
Yeah.
It's
Take
probably because
two.
I
So I.
entered the encounter there. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
There you go. So now we can see that it did. The skeletal solar seal absorbs 5 damage with an additional 11 making it through. Their shield also takes 11 damage, breaking it. So now we can see that the poor shield is broken, but it's not destroyed, so it could be repaired afterwards. And Mike took damage, but also Mike has a resistance to piercing damage, so this means that he took 5 damage less. So from a shot that would have killed him at 16, because he has 16 HP, he lowered it to taking only 6 damage, which showcases the power of resistances and shields.
Yes.
Okay, and that about sums it up, unless you have something else you want to discuss.
Not really. Obviously, different characters are going to have different things. Now, one of the things I might add is just the first round can be intimidating. Positioning is important. Now, I was right almost next to two rats. One thing to consider, you might want to charge the rats as a fighting character, as a fighter, a close range fighter. But if I don't charge them, then they both have to move to come to me. And if I put myself, say, between the rats and my casters as a warrior with the attack of opportunity reaction, if they try to bypass me, I can at least whack one.
Mm-hmm.
And they come to me instead of me spending two actions. So if you have, for example, a monk, you might want to get into your stance, get into a position, and say try to intimidate on the first round, and then let the enemies come to you instead of spending actions going to them.
Yeah, that's a good tactics right there.
Yeah.
And there's one other thing I just thought that we could do. Let's say that Ninchoken is suddenly appearing here and decides to burning hands the skeleton. We're going to showcase a reflex saving throw.
Yeah.
So we can see that he's bursting forth a cone of fire and then rolling damage. The skeleton succeeds. This is a basic saving throw. So on a success, the skeleton will take half damage. On a failure, he would have taken damage. On a critical success, he would have taken nothing, and on a critical failure, he would have taken double. Now, this is looking pretty bad, and then Shokan is going to be like, "No, it resisted my powerful spell," and run away. But that kind of
Yep.
explains how saving throws go. And if you have an actor selected and you click the box that says save, you will automatically get a prompt for the correct saving throw. Like such. All right, so that's about it. We're 20 minutes in, so that's about my average video length because I'm a time whore. So thanks a lot, Mike, for your time and your mastication sounds before the stream.
You're welcome.
And we'll show this to everyone, and if there's questions, drop them in the comments below. Thanks, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Pow, 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 pow. Thank you. Bye.
Share and everything.
Share on your page my
Bye-bye.
awesome videos about weird mastication sounds and skeletons killing rats. Take care, everyone. Ciao.